Hello students, welcome you back to the course of Operating Systems. We have successfully completed 2 units in this course and we are entering into the third unit. So the third unit is titled Storage Management. We have already seen the various functionalities of the operating system and we learned that it includes process management, memory management, device management, information management, and so on. So the second component of memory management is being explained in Unit 3. So they've named it as storage management because memory includes main memory as well as secondary storage. So we will be discussing both about the main memory and also how the secondary storage is useful in this memory management. So basically, we have already seen that the CPU can be shared by a set of processes. So more than one process can be always active and the operating system is capable of doing multitasking and processing a set of processes. So as a result, we already studied that CPU scheduling is being done and the utilization of the CPU and speed of the computer's response to its users is very much improved. So to realize this increase in performance, we need to keep several processes in memory. So what this memory means is the main memory on your computer. So if I want the CPU to be working on different processes, all the processes should be readily available for me to work on. So they should be available in the main memory. So the functionality of an operating system handles or manages primary memory. That is the main role of this memory management. And it moves processes back and forth between the main memory and the disk, means it is the secondary storage. And this memory management functionality keeps track of each and every memory location regardless of either it is allocated or to some process or it is free, and checks how much memory is to be allocated to each process. Then it also decides which process will get memory at what time. It also tracks whenever some memory gets freed or unallocated, and correspondingly it updates the status. So in a way, memory management is going to take care of the entire memory part of the operating system. So it is going to handle the free space, available space, keep track of which process is occupying how much memory, when the process is executed, freeing the memory, reallocating. So like this, it is going to take care of all the memory related operations. So that is taken care by this major component, memory management. So in the computer, we can name this main memory as the memory available in the computer, and secondary memory is the hard disk. So what we are trying to say is, on the computer, when we are working, we are going to have more than one process, and very limited main memory will be available, and whatever are frequently used, that we can bring into the main memory, remaining can be in the secondary memory. So when it is in the main memory, it is having a logical address, and when it is in the secondary memory, it is having a physical address. That you are aware. In the first unit, we went through the very nature of how the operating system memory is organized. So we know that there is something called a physical address, and this main memory is a very small space, so it is having a logical address. So say for example, process 1 was executing and process 2 has come, and process 1 had to do some printing operation, so it is going for IO operation, input output operation. So let's say it's going to do some printing operation, so we are swapping out the process 1 and process 3 is brought in. Already process 1 and 2 are in the main memory. 1 had some work, so it is being sent out, and process 3 is brought in. Once process 3 finishes its work or it has some IO operation, this is sent out and process 1 is brought in. Meaning to say that the main memory is having only space for 2 processes. So 1 and 2 were executing, 3, 4 and all are waiting, and 1 had some IO operation to do, which means it does not require the space in the memory. So it is sent out, 3 is brought in, then when 3 moves out, 1 can come in. So this will be the memory management process. So this is how memory management is helping in bringing in processes, bringing out processes, and keeping track of the entire operation. So basically, a pair of base and limit registers will define this logical address space. In the previous slide, we saw that there is some logical address. So what the operating system will do is, for every process, it will have a base address and a limit. So from this base address of 300040, it is having a limit of this size of the process. So the next ending address will be 420940. So for this process, the next process 420940 will be the base address, and probably it has a limit of some 4000 and odd. So it is going to 88 and odd. So there will be a base and limit and register, and CPU must check every memory access generated in user mode to be sure it is between this base and limit of that user. What we are trying to say is, the CPU should know what is this base address and what is the limit of the process. So that should be known so that it can keep track of which process is entering into the main memory, which is leaving, and so on and so forth. So the protection of memory space, that is very important. So the CPU hardware will compare every address generated in the user mode with these registers. See, it should not exceed. If it exceeds, it is going to cause fatal error. So that is why we are making a point to keep this base and limit registers, so that accidentally or deliberately, if the code is exceeding, then it may create some errors in the operating system. So the base and limit registers can be loaded only by the operating system, and it will take care that the size of the process is known. That is why we are using these two registers. So this is the diagram. You can see CPU is addressing the processes. The address is given and it is checking. First of all, it will check the base address. Is it greater than the base address? If no, which means it is greater than or equal to, means it is an error. So it will come out, trapped to the operating system and addressing an error. If it is yes, if it is above that, then it will go and it will check whether it is within the base plus limit address. And if it is yes, it will go to the memory, the secondary storage, and check and bring out the process. So this is just in the previous diagram, we had a limit register and a base register. The same thing is being diagrammatically shown here. So the CPU is getting the address, it is checking for the base address, and then it is checking for the base plus limit address. If the process is within these two limits, it is able to locate the process from the secondary memory. So we'll stop here and continue in the next lecture.